This is what I am talking about. We are getting an insane update.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Now, this is actually an insane update. I was gonna be like, no, it's not. Nah, it's a pretty big update because it's gonna change the trajectory of Ashes of Creation. And that's exactly what Alpha 2 is about. So if you haven't been keeping up in these Ashes streets, we are getting a pretty significant gathering update. And obviously, we've been playing Alpha 2 a specific way for these past few months. A lot of people have been complaining, and now Intrepid, like they usually do, have listened, and they are implementing a change. Let's talk about it. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the article like we always do. We're gonna talk about it, and we'll break it down, all right? Let's get on into it. Glorious Alpha 2 gatherers. The data and feedback you've provided has been invaluable throughout our Alpha 2 testing phase, helping us shape the future of Ashes of Creation. Many of you have shared thoughts on gatherables with fixed locations and predictable timers, and we recognize the desire to enhance artisanship in a more dynamic and rewarding way. Instead of quick fixes, we have decided to accelerate the development of some of our outstanding key surveying and gatherable spawning system features that not only improves the Alpha 2 experience, but also aligns with our long-term vision for the game's launch. Our goal is to create an immersive, competitive, and ever-evolving world that continues growing through your feedback and collaboration. So that's the start. All right, so far so good. Gathering updates. With that said, we are planning to introduce updates to the gatherable spawning system in our 0.8 April 10th, 0.9 April 24th, and 0.10 May 8th build updates of Alpha 2. These changes will be designed to make gathering more engaging and rewarding. Gatherable spawn clusters by rarity introduces variability in spawn times, amounts, and locations, making rare gatherables require continued exploration to acquire, instead of static spawn locations. Gatherables will dynamically respawn at new locations within larger spawning areas, meaning that when a gatherable resource is acquired, it won't return to the same location. That's freaking huge. Our goal is to maintain the excitement of discovering a high rarity gatherable area. However, this knowledge should come with the understanding that others will also discover and act on it. The days of logging back in at the exact spot to find that legendary copper 2 hours later are over. Okay, in terms of breaking this down, when people say they want an MMO that's immersive, that makes them want to adventure, explore, this is how you know people are lying, because we had so many people exploiting this system, this feature right here. And it says it right here in the paragraph. People were literally logging out right in front of freaking materials, whether it be braidwood, rubies, whatever it may. And they were like, oh, we got some legendary rubies. I will log right back in X amount of time and I'm gonna get it. And one, that's kind of whack. It's whack for the fact that if you have it locked down, you have it locked down. Obviously, people can contest it, but that would require the knowledge of that being there. But if you're a huge guild and you have it, then you got it locked down. I think with this is gonna make people go out and gather more. It's gonna make the world feel more alive because people now actually have to work, right? You actually have to go out there and look for the rubies, look for the braidwood, whatever it may. You have to go out there and genuinely search. So this is gonna encourage more exploration throughout the world, right? Think of raid logging, right? People kind of were doing that with just material logging, logging in and getting whatever they need. So now if you really want it, and especially for the game that Ashes of Creation is, because we know it is more of a hardcore game, I personally believe you should have to go out and find those materials. You should never just be able to log in and get whatever you want. And not even speaking from like the big guilds are doing this and Krusty Krab is unfit. I genuinely just think it makes sense to have resources spawn in other locations. Doing that, you're gonna push that player engagement naturally in those other locations. If you just log in and you know where it's at each time, especially the rarity, that's crazy. That is crazy. Imagine the people that were logging in and getting a legendary version of whatever it may. That is insane. So I'm glad that they're switching this up. I think it's going to help the market. Things are going to continue to grow. And this is a change that I am 1000% for. Also, this is pretty cool because we're getting updates after updates. April 10th, April 24th, and May 8th. And this is exactly what I'm saying with that whole give them time. But this is the time where we're getting significant updates. This is something that's gonna help alter the world. We're not gonna get updates like this on a daily basis. So unfortunately, we do have to wait for those things sometimes. But when we get them, and hopefully it'll be great, they'll be worth it. Surveying updates. Surveying will be an essential tool in adapting to these exciting changes. In our current iteration, some testers have mastered ways to optimize the gathering spawn times, which presents an opportunity to make the system more engaging for everyone. With these changes, testers will be able to utilize a new surveying item to discover the general location of specific gatherables and find rarer instances of them. Testers will also be able to gain information about gatherables that are waiting to respawn, giving them the opportunity to contest these respawn areas. This evolution of the system strives to encourage continued exploration with surveying, increasing friction in highly sought after areas over time. What did I just say? And that's exactly what I'm getting at. I think, dude, that's what you want. We want people utilizing in-game systems to drive that friction, to drive that player activity, to drive that player interaction, right? If we can just game the system in a way that's not intended, obviously that's gonna hurt the game. So it looks like they are finding ways to give people what they want, but while still giving people what they want, it's still impactful for Ashes of Creation as a whole. I think that's a super W. Personally, it's good. And then the additional Artisanship updates. On top of that, Artisanship service multi-tagging will ensure that gatherables will appear in logical, immersive locations, such as weeping willows near riverbanks, and minerals like copper in caves, while still maintaining randomness and rewarding exploration. Gatherable spawn clusters use a weighted system to inform their chance to spawn at their viable tag locations. This means that players can learn the locations in which certain gatherables have a higher or lower chance to spawn, but it will still allow encountering eureka moments. That's pretty cool. And I think that's going to be a super nice moment to have. Right. In addition to all of these gathering system improvements, processing stations will give players the flexibility to choose the size of the job they want to process rather than being restricted to set batch sizes. Listen to me. Honestly, I couldn't care less. Let people log in and get their stupid legendary braidwood over and over. This is the biggest update that I'm talking about. This is what I want to see. Do you know how annoying it is to have 213 of an item and you're like, you know what, I gotta go get 37 more of this item just so I can hit that 250 mark so I can let it cook? No, I don't want to do that. The fact that we can now pick any freaking number, this is what I'm talking about. Honestly, all jokes aside, I am pretty gassed for this. This is a nice quality of life change without it really being a super quality of life change. The items were gonna get cooked anyway, but now instead, you're not forcing me to have a required number. I can just cook it whenever I want. We love that. Honestly, I don't really see a downside to that either. Processing recipes will also allow mixing and matching different rarity gatherables similar to crafting. Gathering tools will be converted into equipable items, no way, like bags and artisanship gear. We are also refining how gatherable rarity impacts crafted item stats, ensuring gatherable rarity feels more meaningful. All of these features, along with other system refinements based on community feedback, will be introduced in the 0.8, 0.9, and 0.10 build updates. While we work to implement these changes, we appreciate your patience. That's crazy because now there's gonna be a market for tools. Dude, I can see it now. I can see it now. Epic pickaxe, 10 gold, plus your firstborn child. All jokes aside, man, I think this is a really good update, genuinely. And you know what's crazy about this too, is that we are halfway through March right now. We are getting 2 significant updates in April 10th and April 24th. Well, what's after that? Phase 3, which starts May 1st. And then on top of that, we're getting that 3rd update a week after Phase 3 launches, which is on May 8th. So This is exactly what I'm saying in terms of the game just needing time. And I know people are getting tired of it and this, that, and the third, but I genuinely do believe we will get the outcome that we want, but we literally just have to wait and keep cooking along with the game. In totality, I think that we are on the right path. I know it takes a long time. I know the alpha process isn't for everyone, but I really do think when we get those updates, they are going to be worth it. And I think this is one of those updates that is going to be worth it. And you have to remember, we're getting 2 significant updates right before phase 3 and then another update a week after phase 3 launches. But please, you tell me how you feel about these changes. Were they well received, or do you think it's kind of too much? Let your boy know in the comment section below. I know it's a long process in Alpha 2, but trust me, hold on and we'll get there sooner than you think. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.